Hello, we are Caroline and Caroline
from Vermont and California.
And this week we are finally going to tell you all you have to know about Southwest Studies.
Southwest Studies is a 1-week-long trip in which first-year students get to explore the American Southwest.
This year there were 5 trips that first years were able to choose from.
The first trip was a trip to the U.S.-Mexico border to learn about immigration policy.
I went on that trip. You'll hear about it later. We had 2 trips that stayed in New Mexico and explored the state, learning about Southwestern American culture.
We had 1 trip about archaeology, and they traveled to a few different states exploring Native American pueblos.
And finally, we had 2 different groups go to the Grand Canyon. One went into the Grand Canyon and took 3 to 5 day hikes, and one group stayed on the rim and hiked around there and did some art projects.
I went on that trip, so I'll talk about that later.
And now, with the help of some of our friends, we're going to tell you all about the different adventures that we had.
Hello, I'm Connor. I'm from America. I went on the archaeology trip. It was a good time. We went to the Chaco Ranch place, and it was a national park where we camped out for 2 nights. It was really cool. And then the government shut down, so then the rest of our plans were canceled. So we kind of just winged it every day, which was really fun. And we went to Utah State Park, Gooseneck, which was the coolest part of the whole trip. It was basically just a huge canyon that we camped out 10 feet away from. It was cool. And then we went to other Navajo reserves and got tours by the Navajo people and got to see in the canyons and the trails they take. The people were fun, the food was good. It was a good trip.
I was one of about 30 students who went on the trip to the U.S.-Mexico border. We started off by spending 2 nights in Bisbee, Arizona, which is a border town, where we stayed with locals and learned about their perspective on immigration issues. We also got to have dinner at the mayor's house and heard about the ways that she's addressing the immigration policy in her community. After that, we spent 3 days in Agua Prieta, Mexico, where we spent time at a local high school, painted the border fence, set up water stations in the desert for crossing migrants, had dinner with deported immigrants, and even got to experience some border issues of our own when the government shutdown made it difficult for all the international students to get back into the U.S. We finished the trip with a few days in Tucson, Arizona, working in a community garden and getting to explore the city a little bit.
Hey guys, I'm Bonino from Jamaica and Bulgaria, and I went on Land of Enchantment for Southwest Studies. We had a really great time. We went to a football game in Albuquerque, and then we went to the Pueblo. We also went hiking at a place called Tent Rocks, which is this really cool geological formation. We went swimming in the bottomless lake. We went to Roswell. It has a UFO museum, and that's where an alien crash landed or whatever. And then we went to a state fair outside of Roswell, which was really cool for those people who haven't experienced American culture. Great trip.
So I was one of the 50 to go to the Grand Canyon in Arizona. We had 6 different teams, 2 3-day teams, 2 4-day trips, and 2 5-day trips. I was at the 5-day trip. Each team went consecutively down in the canyon and hiked all the way to the Little Colorado River. My team took about 12 hours to get all the way down, and we were all really, really tired, but the other couple days makes it totally worth it. While you're down there, you get to play in the Colorado River. You pretty much get to walk in and see nature and learn about the wilderness, and it was really nice to have some solo time. We did not know about the government shutdown during the time. We were still in the canyon. They didn't come and get us, and when we came out, we were all alone in the Grand Canyon, which was actually really cool. One of the most memorable moments was when we were all sitting around a campfire after the 5 days, and we were singing and laughing and eating s'mores, and just really happy to be together again after being alone in the wilderness for a week. So it was definitely a really great experience and something I will never forget.
Hi guys, I'm Jacob and I'm from Alabama. I'm unfortunately the only person from Alabama, which means everyone who's watching this in Alabama needs to apply. But I went on the Grand Canyon Rim trip for Southwest Studies, and it was an amazing trip. We got to see the Grand Canyon from the top. We got to hike around the rim and we did some art. We camped in the national park until they kicked us out, and then we just had a blast.
So we were off having fun in the States.
Our second years had to stay on campus and participate in Second Year Support Week.
I'm Nathan from Nebraska. I'm the one who's just licking Jacob. But yeah, during Southwest Survival Week, or Second Year Survival Week, second year stay on campus, and we just do a lot of work, like our extended essays and write personal statements and try to get into college. And if you're cool, you get to see John Mayer.
Southwest Studies is one of the many things that makes the U.S. campus unique from all the other UWCs.
If you have any questions or comments about the trips we took or the adventures we had, please comment in the doobly-doo down below, and we'll get back to you next video. And as always,
We're your go-to Carolines for all things UWC.
So I was one of the 50 who went to